Yo, 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 what's up, everyone? Welcome back. I have a really cool episode planned for tonight. It's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to start with a few XRP updates, and then we're going to go into something that we used to talk about and we haven't talked about in a long time. So let's get into precious metals, gold and silver. So that's some of the things we're going to talk about. It's going to be a quick video tonight, but let's get started with debunking some narratives. Those who think the prior U.S. admin was against Ripple don't get it. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin had Ripple in his executive order report as systemically important. I believe this is Executive Order 13772. Not sure if we're talking about the same one. How do you get the SEC's emails legally? Why? Through the discovery, of course. Hence the lawsuit. Exposure 101. So this is how we expose all the crimes. Yeah, Executive Order 13772, revamping the financial system signed by Donald Trump in the first 60 days in office. Ripple is mentioned on page 194. Basically, this is all about creating a level playing field. One of the first things that the other side did when they got into office was actually revoke 13772 because it was that powerful. So a lot of people don't know this information, and this information is crucial. This executive order is also 222 pages long. What is the protocol system that we're trying to create? ISO 2022222, the master builder number. So you can't think. I had a post today in my Telegram. I encourage you, if you want the best information and way more than I could do in these videos, go to Telegram. The link will be in the description. But you can't just look at everything from the lens that you used to use. We're moving into a quantum world. So things don't have the same meanings at face value. In quantum, there's multiple meanings, double meanings on everything. XRP isn't one thing. It could be a million things at once because it's quantum technology. Humans are trained to think it's either this or that. There's heads or tails. What if there was a third side to the coin? It's not this or that. It's and. I had a whole conversation with a buddy about that today. So you got to learn not to take things at face value. The chess that we're playing is quantum chess. That's what fifth dimensional chess means. So if you're not on the quantum chessboard, you're not going to understand everything and you're going to get lost. Moving along. Shout out to Bearable Bull. He has some amazing posts on his Twitter. Keeps it easy for me. So tomorrow is a very big day in XRP history. We have another hearing. Last time the XRP army, we're a grassroots army. We are the news. We embody that culture. If it wasn't for just average anons on the internet making XRP content, nobody would know what was coming. All of the information is pushed not by the mainstream media, it's pushed by independent journalists like myself. So we're making so much noise. We have this whole grassroots movement behind us that they actually limited the phone call to only 4,000 people tomorrow. So if you guys want to be a part of it, I suggest getting on early. The SEC versus Ripple court is paying attention. They recently increased the call-in capacity to the 4K. And I think the judges know exactly which side the people who call in are on. So call in this Friday and let the judges know the people are watching and care. Well, I guess they actually raised the limit. So they know that we have such a huge, we're making so much noise, and I'm sure that helps the judge. So Bearable Bull says, tomorrow is a massive day in Ripple XRP history. I believe it'll go really well for us. And just know, if it doesn't go well, we have plans within plans. Quantum chess. We will have a backup plan. XRP's technology is too good to be wasted. You're not going to waste the greatest digital asset ever. So whatever news comes out tomorrow, I'm still bullish, 110%. And of course, nothing is financial advice on this page. But if you truly believe in what you own, I will encourage you to also hold your faith no matter what happens tomorrow, whether it's good or bad. So, Yeah, tomorrow, I guess tomorrow I'll have another update for you guys in the Telegram about exactly what's happening with the SEC. But I think for now, that's basically good, and we could switch subjects besides one last thing. If you're not in the 2017 bull run, you have not experienced anything yet. We have had amazing fun. We've watched XRP zoom 300% in a few days, and it's been incredible. And we're watching our accounts, having so much fun. But I was part of that 2017 run when that shit went up to like $3 in a blink of an eye. So if we repeat that same trend, we're looking at a $10 XRP. You remember Mr. Poole had the XX, the 10, double meanings. Of course, there's multiple meanings on that post, but can we see the double digit, the famous $10 XRP? May. And for all the astrologers, I'm just now starting to really dive into that. But May is my birth month, so I'm born a Taurus. So exciting month for me. I would love to have a $10 XRP month, $10 XRP for my birthday month. Okay, so switching into precious metals. This is where I got my beginnings in investing. I started investing into silver, gold, precious metals right after I graduated high school. Back then, silver was like 14 bucks. And slowly over time, you're just buying little bits, dollar cost average here and there. You stack up more and more and more. And a lot of people have been stacking for a lot of time. And just like XRP holders, they get shit on all the time. It's stupid. It's a waste to invest in precious metals. It's dumb. And it's very volatile. It's gone up to $50. It's gone back down. I believe the people that have been holding silver, their time is coming soon too. Astrologically, I believe like the silver gate or something's opening up soon. So that's a confirmation. But besides that, silver is just essential for this new age. Everybody wants electric cars. Everybody wants solar on their roof. I live in Las Vegas. It's very sunny here. Everybody's putting solar on their roofs. So what does that mean? Why is that important? All these electrical technologies require silver. Silver is the best electrical, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but electrical conductor. Like it absorbs electricity best for technology. Like your iPhone has silver. Tesla needs silver. The solar panels require a certain amount of ounces of silver. And the problem is silver is becoming more and more rare, so it's harder and harder to find each year. So basically, there's going to be a huge correction on silver. Out of all the commodities, silver is one of the few that actually has risen in value. It's still like the same price as a long time ago. So it needs to correct. I believe that within the next few years, if not sooner, I don't like to do predictions of time because it's not about that. Because if we really believe in what we're doing, then the more time we have to get in at these lower prices, the better, right? But I believe we'll see $100 silver in due time. And that's minimum. Look at all the other precious metals. There's been so much manipulation, and this is not a conspiracy, it's a fact. You can look up JP Morgan got busted multiple times for manipulating silver price. So you can only manipulate something so much. And like a rubber band, when you pull a rubber band, you could pull it, and eventually it snaps. And when it snaps, that's the explosion. That's when you're awakening the giant within, like NASDAQ is saying. It's really going to awaken the giant within. It's going to be like a dragon waking up in his sleep. And it could happen like a flip of the switch. It could happen really fast. Also, historically, May 1st, that's coming up. So historically, they'll tell you, like the Federal Reserve person will say, gold is just a speculative asset. It's not that valuable, blah, blah, blah. If it wasn't that valuable, why in May 1st did they confiscate everybody's gold and silver? Our great-grandparents' gold and silver, they made it illegal to own. And they pretty much stole our nation's wealth. They stole all the gold and silver. That's God's money. This was actually only gold, so gold. And then right after they did this, of course, they raised the price of gold. Criminal penalties for violation of executive order, $10,000 fine or 10 years imprisonment, or both. So you could get slapped $10,000 fine and 10 years in prison just for owning gold back then. People may ask, do you think this is going to happen again? No, because we're moving into a people's economy. Okay. So let's talk about the Phoenix. Let's talk about the Phoenix. In Phoenix, Arizona, the highway that's in Phoenix is number 17. 17 highway. Shout out to Chris O'Brien. So the Phoenix highway is 17. That's dot connection number 1. What news is happening right now? Everyone called us crazy a few months ago. We told them watch the watermarks on the ballots. Now they're using ultraviolet ballot testing in Arizona, in Phoenix. And the blue check marks are still trying to defend it. Why don't you talk about the fact that you guys are getting audited and you're scared? Okay, so what have I said for the past year? There'll be a new election on a blockchain. Blockchain saves the election. When blockchain also saves the financial system. Blockchain, all these narratives at the same time are being built for the solution of blockchain. You're seeing everything that's happening. So the easiest way to solve this fiasco of voting is to not do voting like we're in the 1950s or the 1990s and evolve into a blockchain advanced technology that has a record that's easily could be pulled up, cannot be manipulated. It's not connected to a central internet party. So we have the narrative, blockchain saves the election, blockchain saves the financial system, it saves the way that we do gold and silver, it opens up floodgates for us to have tons of more access to tons and tons of more liquidity. Okay, well, so what else is in Arizona? We remember the Egyptian mummy thing that just happened, the 22 mummies that did the parade? They did the parade in Egypt. I'm not going to Google it, but look it up. They had a 22 ritual a few weeks ago at the Egyptian pyramids where they move these mummies. And there's tons of Egyptian shit in the Grand Canyon. So this is the Temple of Isis. It's all named after Egyptian gods. So Isis Temple. Now, let me tell you guys a story about 1912. So in 1912, the New York Times has a newspaper article that this man discovered vast riches in the Grand Canyon. They found more gold that was ever accumulated on Earth in one location. So imagine you take all the gold in the world and didn't even equal the amount of gold that was in the Grand Canyon. So it was supposed to astonish the world. It was going to shock people. One of the greatest findings in human history was here in the Grand Canyon. And basically, because the US dollar was dependent on gold, right? So the US dollar was backed by gold at this time. So law of supply and demand. If we unleash more gold than ever existed, obviously the price of gold will become devalued, which would devalue the United States dollar. So there's an amazing guy on YouTube. He had the story Road to Ruta. There's also a comic book from the Boston Federal Reserve called Wishes and Rainbows. Do the gematria of Wishes and Rainbows. You'll be surprised. Currency reset, Great Awakening reset. It's all in there. And it's a story basically about a cartoon for kids, basically about how the Fed got off the gold standard. I learned about this from Road to Ruta and Fit Alchemist. Shout out to them. But this is his speculation of it. Road to Ruta pointed out that a story in New York Times dated June 1919. What are we in right now? What's the reverse of that? 91 is the Phoenix in gematria. but 19 is the CV. So 1912 reported that a massive gold deposit was found in the Grand Canyon, and soon after the federal government took control of the Grand Canyon and built a military base where the gold was discovered. And to this day, nobody is allowed in that area. Supposedly, Woodrow Wilson was afraid that the US dollar, which then was backed by gold, would collapse since the gold deposit far exceeded the total amount of gold found up until that date. And therefore, the news of this massive gold find was squelched and control of the Grand Canyon was turned over to the Federal Reserve, the federal government. So right after they found it, a few years later, basically it became a national park. I believe 1919, it became a national park. And supposedly there's been lots of stories. If you go to certain areas of the Grand Canyons, there's Marines that'll just fucking have a sniper at you and tell you to get out of there. I've heard stories like that. I don't know if they're true or not. But then let me show you how we connect the dots. So we don't just take people, okay, how is this, what's going on with the Grand Canyon? And I found out tons of news. Tons of news have been happening at the Grand Canyon all throughout Trump's presidency. I didn't even realize it. So if you type in, so look, here's one. Biden vow. So Trump basically had all these scientists, tons and tons of scientists, archaeologists, go to the Grand Canyon to search for uranium. And he did. It's all right here. There's a, this thing is not working. But basically this article, Trump plans ends research on uranium mining near Grand Canyon. So uranium mining by Grand Canyon, right? Biden vows reversal as Trump eyes mining near Grand Canyon, Bristol Bay. So Trump's been like basically taunting them, always bringing up the Grand Canyon and mining there for uranium. So does Trump want the uranium or gold from the Grand Canyon? And people are starting to connect the dots. You guys, this whole article is available online. And there's so much negative press. It's like, everyone's like, that would be horrible for the environment. Trump, everyone stop him from mining and researching the Grand Canyon. He knows what's at the Grand Canyon. He knows. And this is what people need to understand is also, I got to show you the quote. But basically, when Woodrow Wilson gave the quote about the Grand Canyon, he said, this is one of the most amazing, beautiful sights, and we want to make sure that we save the Grand Canyon for future generations so our kids can make sure that they live in the beauty of America. And basically this whole speech about America and how we have to preserve what we have for the future. And what I took to that quote was basically, yes, we have all this gold, but at that time we were already the most powerful nation. So let's be frugal now. Let's save this for future generations. With the 19 timestamp on it, that proves to me that it was meant for the Phoenix. So it's meant for this time now. This is the time when our country most needs an economic boost. There's been tons of stories about the gold that we've recovered from the Vatican. I do not know if that's true. I don't know if that's just BS. I don't know. I believe it's true. However, what if that was a distraction? Because we already have more gold that ever existed right here in our own land, the Grand Canyon. So if they want to do this financial reset, the person with the most gold makes the rules. And let's say they need to, most countries are probably going to need to reset the value of gold to $10,000. That's the true value. They're going to have to set it at a certain price. And let's say they set the price at $10,000 an ounce. If we're playing 5D chess, that's the time when you release that you have the most gold that ever existed at the Grand Canyon. And you create the gold standard, and our kids, and myself are going to be able to live in the most prosperous nation that ever existed. Because we're going to have the most gold ever, and our money's going to be backed by gold. However, I'm going to finish off tonight with one of the smartest economic women in the world. She's smarter than you. She's smarter than me at economics. And surprisingly, she's a big supporter of XRP. This person was Trump's pick for the Federal Reserve. You guys want to talk about bringing back the gold standard? You want to talk about Missouri? You want to talk about these things? How? That's what we have to ask. How? How specific? How can we take advantage of this? The Internet of Value allows them to tokenize gold in a modernized way. The Internet of Value also is for supply chains. So we also have records of how much gold is in each one of these banks' reserves at all time, and it's public. We could see on the blockchain, oh, there's 50,000 tons of gold on the blockchain at the Federal Reserve of Boston. And here's the tricky thing is that it's so important because China could just lie and say, oh, we have 10 billion gold ounces in our reserves. How? Prove it. Well, the best way to prove it is if we track and measure it on a blockchain. We tokenize and measure it on a supply chain via the blockchain. So that way, irrefutable, we could track and measure where all the gold is, and there's no lying. There's no illusions. It's real. We've been living in an illusionary economy for a very long time. People aren't used to real. Also, we're going to be able to freely move all this gold. These banks have been accumulating so much precious metals. The problem is you can't really move it around. So now they're going to be able to freely move it around, which opens up so much liquidity for the markets. So watch the water, watch this video, and let me know your thoughts on this. And we'll get back to some more awesome XRP and crypto videos tomorrow and in the future. Thank you for enjoying the flexibility of topics on this page. Join the Telegram. Continue to support this page. We're growing faster than ever, and it's been a thrill to be a part of this with you guys. Okay, let's watch the video.
Quite well known for your stance on the gold standard. Would return help the U.S. economy? Can you talk a little about your thoughts on that?
Well, I would say I don't see it so much as returning, but more of a back to the future.
Okay.
I think that what a gold standard stands for is monetary discipline for its own sake. That is, if money is supposed to be a unit of account and a reliable measure and a dependable store of value, it really shouldn't be subject to who's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And I think that money needs to be stable and provide the foundation for productive economic growth. And when money is just a variable that financial markets toss around, or it's part of a derivatives formula, or it's part of someone speculating on currencies, it's not serving the private sector in the sense of providing that reliable unit of account so you can make plans. And under a gold standard, you did have that stability, and I think that's what's missing. And so I like the idea of a gold standard. I mean, it could be used in a very cryptocurrency way. The point is, do you have a unified money system so that when you talk about the international marketplace, everyone is playing on a level monetary playing field? And it's very important to have a rules-based approach. And that's why I'm advocating that we need to look at the virtues of a gold standard and try to come up with something much closer to matching those. And then I think we would have more solid economic growth.